Hi everyone, it's Erin from the Provincial Farmhouse. Today I'm doing a video for the Paint Couture creative team. For today's video, I'm going to be creating some French Country Wall Decor. I'm using this little wood blank that I had in my stash. I'm of course going to remove the twine from the top first. Then I'm taking out Paint Couture's Embossing Medium and I'm going to be using it with this stencil. Now I'm running my palette knife over the top of the stencil and working that Embossing Medium into that detail there. So I'm really just focusing on the swirl pattern. That's what I want to have layered over the top of my little decor piece there. I'm creating a background for my project today to add a little bit of interest and depth. Sometimes I am going to switch up the placement of the stencil. You can see I've moved from the left over to the right, and a little bit later you'll see that I actually did cut out the stencil to make it a bit easier for me to flip it around and use it in a bunch of different ways. I'm also cleaning it occasionally with a wet wipe in between uses so I don't get too much of a build-up of that embossing medium. You also want to make sure that you're letting the designs dry before you move on to any that are nearby so that you don't accidentally damage the embossing that you've already put down. While that's drying, I'm taking out Blanche's Baroque frames mold and then Paint Couture's Rapid Casting Resin in black. I'm pouring out equal parts step 1 and step 2 into a silicone cup, and then I'm going to stir it really well together for about 30 seconds. I'm then going to pour that into the mold that I want to use. We're using that main large frame around the outside and a couple of the other little pendants as well. The Rapid Casting Resin by Paint Couture also comes in white as well. The black is really great if you're going to be using dark colors or metallics. In about 10 minutes, my casting is dry and set and ready to take out, so I am going to pull those castings out. As you can see, the detail is absolutely beautiful. Using resin in these just makes the job a lot easier, especially this one here with all those ornate details and swirls. The resin just picks them up beautifully. I'm going to set that to one side and take out Paint Couture's Driftwood mineral paint, and I'm going to be applying it over the top of my dry embossing medium details that we put down. I'm going to only need one coat here. The coverage is really amazing with this color, and also it has a built-in top coat, so that's also going to save me the step of sealing it. I let my paint dry completely, and then I took out the frame that I'm going to be using. And here you can see I'm just positioning it, working out what I want my layout to be. I decided to add these little pendants. I'm going to have to cast another one of the ones on the right. And now I'm just going to use a lead pencil to trace the inside of the frame because I want to add some more embossing medium over that section so that it appears flatter. So I'm going over the top of that area where I drew the circle and I'm going to fill it in just to give it a more even surface. The reason I'm doing this is because I'm going to be adding a transfer. I don't really want the detail underneath to be the thing that stands out. I want the transfer to shine on its own. So I let that dry completely, and then I came in with Paint Couture's Buttercream chalk paint, and I'm just going to do one coat over the top of that area. While that's drying, I'm going to turn my attention back to the frame and I'm going to apply some of that same Driftwood mineral paint over the entire frame. And I had to do 1.5 coats here because I had to go in and touch up a few of the areas around the little swirls and scrolls that I missed on the first coat. I'm also going to be adding the same Driftwood paint to the little pendants that I'm going to have hanging from either side of the frame, left and right, and also down the bottom. So just the same 1 and a bit coats over those. When my paint was dry, I took out this transfer by Redesign. It's an older one called Blossom Flight. This is a scrap that I had left over. I'm going in with a pencil now and I'm just going to be adding that line there so I know how much to cut, so I know how much is going to actually fit inside that frame. I'm going to trim around the outside of the design, and then once I'm finished, I'm going to peel the backing off and I'm going to apply it over the top of my dry buttercream paint. I'm going to rub and burnish over the entire design, and then I'm going to pick up part of the plastic there and start pulling it up as I'm rubbing. If any of the transfer doesn't stay down, I just put that plastic back down and continue rubbing. Once I have that all down, I just used my fingers to make sure it was all pressed down properly, and then I used Gorilla Super Glue on the back of the frame, and I'm going to position that over the top of our center design there. I'm also going to add glue to the two pendants that are going to hang left and right. I did originally glue down the pendant down the bottom, but before it had dried, I pulled it back up because I want to do some stenciling underneath, and that little pendant being there was going to cause some issues with the stencil. I'm then going to take out this French style stencil and the embossing medium again, and I'm going to go over the top of this French address and have that down the bottom. I like to have some sort of typography on my designs. I just feel like it adds more interest to the piece, especially anything to do with Paris or French. It's definitely one of my favorite styles to do. I'm then lifting the stencil straight up, and I'm also going to add these little designs in the corners in the top left and right hand sides. I'm just taking a border design from a other stencil that I had in my stash. Once that was dry, I then took out another part of the Blossom Flight Transfer. This was just, again, a scrap from that same piece that I had, but I really wanted to bring some more of the florals into this design and just sort of draw that eye downward as well. Once that was all down, I then added some glue to the back of that pendant that we hadn't let dry in place completely and had removed to make stenciling easier. And I've got that in place, and now I'm going to take out Paint Couture's Bronze Lux Metallic, and now I'm going over the top of the details of the frame. I'm being a lot heavier on the scroll details around the outside, but I'm going in a little bit lighter on some of the areas with a little bit less product. I'm also going to go in a little bit heavier on the hanging pendants as well. And I just really love the shine that this beautiful Lux Metallic brings to my projects. It's definitely my favorite, I would say, out of all the Lux Metallics. If I inspire you to try any of the Paint Couture products used in today's video, I would really appreciate it if you would use my affiliate link. I will put it in the description and on the screen. I just get a little thank you from Paint Couture in return. I let my metallic dry completely, and then I decided to take out Driftwood, and I'm going to go over the top of the dry white embossing medium. It just felt a bit too stark, so I'm going to go over the top of that with that same base color. And then once that has completely dried, I'm going to be taking out the exact same stencil that we used with the embossing medium. I'm positioning it exactly over the top of where we have that product, and now I'm using the Bronze Lux Metallic on a stencil brush, and I'm going over the top of that same stencil. Now, it was a little bit tricky with the design in the center. I did actually end up going in with a small artist brush to go over the top of just those 3 letters, but the rest of the address really did come out quite nicely, and I much preferred it in that bronze as opposed to the stark white. I felt that the bronze looked a lot better because it tied in with the frames, and obviously it just really brought some more elegance to the piece. I also went over the top of the raised corner details up the top, and while doing this, especially on the right hand side, I did have a little bit of bleed through in one spot, and I actually ended up liking it. I liked how it filled in that center part a bit more, so I added some more of that product there, and that also helped cover the holes there because I'm going to attach a different type of hanger to the back of this. And now I'm just using the stencil brush that I used just in that previous step. I'm just using what's left over of the Bronze Lux Metallic on those bristles to go around the edge to make a frame. And here's our finished French Country Wall Decor piece. This was a really fun project, and I really enjoyed using the Rapid Casting Resin in the beautiful ornate frame mold there. Let me know what you think of this in the comments. If you enjoyed today's video, make sure you hit that like button, comment, and subscribe to the Paint Couture channel so that you don't miss out on any of the videos from the Paint Couture creative team. Thanks for watching.